to sort of wrap this up, you've obviously published the draft kit for the score, um, which is an amazing resource. I've dipped into it um, quite a bit and continue to look through it most days because I'm drafting most days. In fact, I've drafted every day since April. So it's a really powerful guide because it's not just a rankings list that everyone puts together. You've got a lot of unique features in there and your own take. So just talk a little bit about sort of what the guide is trying to do for players and some of the things in there that are going to help make players be more successful and give them some more edges that you're not going to get from a standard. Here's a list of 200 guys that you should rank from 1 to 200.
Well, the first thing is that everything we're doing at the score, we have a website as well, score.com, but everything we're doing is designed for the mobile app. So you're going to want to download the app because it's set up to be very easy to jump between articles, to jump
Mm.
between rankings while you're doing your draft, right? I want you to have your phone right there and be able to grab, should I take that player? What's his strength of schedule look like? All that sort of stuff is baked in. What does his offensive line look like? All that stuff. So that's the first thing is we want to make it as easy as possible to kind of navigate through. And then on top of that, yeah, you're getting rankings and tiers and auction values and all that stuff. We haven't even added a lot of the things yet that are coming, right? The projections are going to be coming soon. The offensive line rankings are going to be coming as well in the next week or so. All that stuff, it's updated constantly leading up to the season. I know, the thing used to be to buy a magazine in May and you're set up for the rest of the time. But really now you want to be uh, at the cutting edge, right? Whenever anything happens, it takes 2 seconds for me to jump in and now update my rankings, and now you can see what those look like. And during the preseason, especially, I know we're not going to get games, but I'm constantly updating, and it'll be the same this year because we're going to get word out of these camps. What players look like, all that sort of stuff, injuries that happen. So you want those, updates as fast as you can possibly get them, and it'll all be in there, right? So I think it's an incredible resource that we're giving away for free. I think it's awesome that the score is willing to do that.
Mm.
There's a ton of great draft kits out there, but to have this one, readily available and kind of designed to be as easy to use as possible with all this different information in there, to get that for free. Yeah, it's at least worth checking out. I will say, if you don't like it at that point, fine, but it would be foolish not to give it a chance.
Especially as you're the world's greatest ranker as well. So, to get your rankings on your phone on a mobile device, you know, we're going to put the link in the show notes so everybody can get access to it. We've got a visual of it on the overlay that people are watching this on the stream. So down
Awesome.
bottom left. So do check it out, and it is a great resource. Even if you've got your tiers, have a look and compare. But the strength of schedule, as you mentioned, things like the offensive line, there those little sharp edges to those marginal gains we're talking about that will just sharpen your focus, will sharpen your tiers, and as you say, it's there to be used during your draft. It's a wonderful resource, and it was a big reason why I wanted you on because it is such a
And
great
actually,
tool.
one other thing I'll add there too with the mock drafts. So in the past, and maybe I'll do it again in the coming weeks, but in the past, we've done mock drafts with other analysts in the industry, right?
Mm.
And that's great. Like it's fantastic to see where everyone's, taking players and what they're thinking. But I would caution that a lot of the analyst mock drafts don't reflect what happens in actual leagues, right? So what I've done the last couple of years is I've found the people at the score. It's not just the people on our NFL team, but some of them are. But it's the people across the score. It's not just people in our newsroom either. We got people from the sales team, the marketing team, people who play fantasy. I got them involved. I want to see what they think in these drafts. And I think it gives you a better picture of what might happen in more casual leagues. In analyst leagues, for example, quarterbacks go so late because
Mm.
everybody knows, right? I'll wait on quarterback. But in these leagues, you see them go where, they probably will go in your draft. So you'll be less surprised, I would say, if you're looking at those kind of mock drafts and I'm breaking down after every round in those, what we're seeing and what picks were good and what weren't. And some of the staff, I think, I'm surprised some of them still do the drafts with me because I've given them a hard time for a few of their picks. But yeah, I think that's also another kind of unique resource that you might not be getting other places where everybody's kind of doing these analyst drafts. And like I said, they're great. And I'm probably going to do one in the next couple of weeks that I post in there too. but it's something else that you can get in there that can give you maybe a little more of an idea what your draft's going to look like.
And also, and the app is great, as you mentioned. Not just it's easy to read, but the notifications you can set it to your preferences of teams. Your soccer team do a good job. They get notifications out before a lot of the big outlets here as well. So you can tell them from me in the UK, they do a great job. But the
I'm
notifications are spot on. They're really
I'm so
great
glad
to
to
get
hear
on.
that. Our soccer team, they work
Mm,
so hard. Those guys are fantastic, and I don't know if they always get enough notoriety being in North America.
mm,
But yeah, they do a fantastic job. And I will say too, with the Score app, on top of all the fantasy and even all the NFL coverage that we have, I used the Score app before I even worked at the Score. It is just so easy to use. It's so intuitive.
mm.
Jumping around in the app, and it only continues to get better. So I would have done that infomercial for them even before I worked there. And now I'm just glad that I do work there and I can help it be even better.
No, like I said, it's a great app. You can tell the soccer team that
I
I use
definitely
them
will.
because it is a great resource, and the the news that comes out, it comes out before most mainstream apps. When you get the notification, it's there, and it's like great. I can go in and read something else and read something else, and you can set your preferences to your team, so you just get notifications on things that interest you when there's breaking news, and it's rapid. And I'm not just saying that because Justin's on; it is quick most of the time.
Well,
I
and with
noticed.
those notifications, sorry, and with those notifications, you can break it down very specific, right?
Mm,
So whether it's fantasy, whether it's NFL, soccer, whatever, you can break it down. I only want breaking news alerts. I only want alerts from this team. What type of alerts do you want for that team? Do you want player news? Do you want, features that we've written? Do you want, videos, all that sort of stuff? You can pick and choose what you want from each thing. So that's fantastic too, right? So your
mm.
phone isn't blowing up all the time with stuff you
It's
don't
not.
want. You can really select exactly what you want to be getting.
I get like 4 a day. It's perfect.
There you go.